The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication, podcast publishing made easy, libsyn.com. That's libsyn.com.
Experiencing the plays, great performances, and compelling stories each week from the archives of great productions of Hollywood's best producers and actors. We now go back to the early days of radio and our imaginations with our featured drama presentation.
Kill the Pharaoh. A thriller serial in 8 episodes by Victor Pemberton. Elizabeth Warwick has been kidnapped by her brother Michael, whom she had thought dead. He insists that she knows the secret of the Harshak tomb at Luxor, but this she denies. Meanwhile, Mahmoud and Wilder, in their search for her, learn that she will be at a village where the whirling dervishes will dance. Kill the Pharaoh. Episode 6, At the Point of a Triangle.
Madness, sheer madness. What possible chance do you think we have of finding Elizabeth Warwick now?
Mr. Wilder, you should not have gone to the mosque alone. It is too dangerous for one who is not Muslim.
If you and your men hadn't followed me there, we would have found out a lot more.
But this man who has spoken to you in the mosque, you do not recognize?
Oh, don't talk nonsense, man. How am I expected to recognize someone who has his face covered in the middle of a host of other worshippers?
Well, the voice. Do you think you could recognize his voice?
I don't know. I just don't know. But I tell you this. If and when we do get that girl back, she's going to be put on the first plane to England.
No, my friend. I do not think I could permit.
I beg your pardon? You cannot permit. Aren't you forgetting something, Inspector? Miss Warwick happens to be a British subject.
Who must now be considered a security risk.
What?
With regret, of course. At first opportunity, she will be placed in our protective custody.
You mean you're going to arrest her?
We wish only for Miss Warwick her safety.
But safety? That lot you can do to save her once the dervishes get her.
Dervish? What do you know of this?
I know they're a bunch of religious fanatics who stop at nothing to kill.
But what has this to do with Miss Warwick?
Well, the old man who talked to me at the mosque, he warned me that if I wanted to see the Englishwoman alive again, I would have to wait until the dervish begins to dance. And this is going to take place in...
the village of the White Scorpion, Hassia.
You know?
There are still many who practice the dervish rites in this village.
But I thought it was illegal.
It is, and very dangerous for those who try to watch. You see, when the dervish begins to dance, his mind is no longer his own. He becomes immune to anything around him. He can feel no physical pain. It is like a state of hypnotism, or if you like, a trance.
Yes? What happens if someone tries to break the trance?
Mr. Wilder, the trance must not be broken.
How much further, Mr. Pringle? I don't think I can stand this heat much more.
We're just at the top now, Mr. Willis. Once we reach that track, we'll stop for a breather. Then I'm afraid we'll have to ditch the camels.
What, you mean we have to go the rest of the way on foot?
Yeah, afraid so. It's a sheer drop on the other side of that peak. Camels couldn't make it.
Well, then how far?
Well, if this bloke's villa's where I think it is, we've got about another couple of miles.
Miles?
And I warn you, it's much worse than this. It's nearly all sand and open desert. Do you think you can make it?
Of course I can.
Well, all I can say is let's hope you think it's all worth it. Because if this bloke isn't the one you're looking... Hello?
What's wrong?
There's someone down there. Look, do you see? Look, behind you, coming up the track.
Where? Oh, yes, that Arab. You think he's following us?
I don't know. We'll have to wait here and see.
Why, he looks harmless enough.
Yeah, maybe. That is, provided he's on his own.
Inchi!
Is it her?
Yes, quick, Mr. Wilder. Help me into the boat. Miss Warwick, dear lady. Can you hear me?
She's not dead.
No, I don't think so. Chloroform. She has been drugged. Dear lady.
Here, use my hat as a shade. Miss Warwick, are you all right? There are no oars. That means she could have been drifting for miles. Her kidnappers must have put her into the boat like this, but why?
We are lucky he have not capsized. The water has strong current. It was only the fisherman who has saved her.
We've got to get her out of this heat.
We shall take her to my office at police station.
Police station, what for?
To recover, Mr. Wilder.
Recover? In other words, she's under arrest.
Can you still see him?
No. Look, I've got a feeling he's hiding behind those rocks somewhere.
Why is he following us? We just can't sit out here all day. There's no shade.
I'm going down there.
I'll come with you.
No. Look, you better leave this to me, Mr. Villas. I know these people. If there's any trouble, I shall know how to deal with him.
But if we're going to get to that villa before dark, we can't hold up for very much longer.
Look, I'll tell you what you do. Make your way up to that rock. Look, you see, there, on the left.
Yes?
Sit down and have a bit of a breather till I get back. If I come across any trouble, at least I'll know where to find you, won't I?
Very well.
Roo, get on!
Why are you doing that? Why are you getting rid of the camels?
Because we've no more use for them.
What on earth do you mean?
From now on, it's up to us. From now on, we're on our own, Mr. Villas. Just the two of us. You and me. See ya.
Mr. Pringle! Mr. Pringle!
Frankly, I don't care what you think, Inspector. I've told you the truth about what happened to me last night.
So, you do not deny that you went to a cinema in the Marquess Square?
No.
Why? Do you speak Arabic?
Am I supposed to inform police headquarters every time I visit a cinema? As it so happens, I wanted to see what an Arab cinema was like.
And no doubt you have found out. You were kidnapped.
A bunch of thugs who thought they were onto a good thing. They found I had no money, so they let me go. It's as simple as that.
But they keep you for nearly 24 hours. You can explain that?
I presume they thought they could hold me up for ransom. They got cold feet, that's all.
No, Miss Warwick, not satisfied.
What do you mean you're not satisfied?
Really, Inspector, this has gone quite far enough. Miss Warwick has been under the most tremendous strain. You've no right to subject her to such an interrogation.
Please, Miss Warwick, now has come the time to tell me the real reason you have come to Luxor.
I told you why I came. For a holiday.
No, it's not the truth.
Inspector!
You have come to see the tomb at Harshak.
I really don't know what you're...
To try to find out what your father could not. Miss Warwick, your father knew that the tomb at Harshak was that of a pharaoh. Am I correct?
Inspector Mahmoud, I really think all this has gone...
Yes.
What?
He had no definite proof. Just a series of circumstances which led him to a theory.
What kind of theory?
That one day it will be proved the Harshak tomb is one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the century. Maybe even more important than Tutankhamun.
What?
Well, my father was convinced that somewhere in that tomb lies the sarcophagus of the king. If we can find that, we shall know the pharaoh's identity.
Such a find would be priceless.
Exactly, and so would all the other treasures.
All this is beyond me. Miss Warwick, why on earth didn't you tell us this was the real reason you were coming here?
Because I had to find that sarcophagus before anybody else. I want nothing from this other than to prove my father's theories. You've got to believe me, Inspector. I can assure you I'm neither a spy nor a propagandist. I happen to have loved my father very much. His work out here meant everything to him. All I want is the chance to prove that he was right.
Very well, dear lady. I will believe. But you still do not know how to reach the hidden chamber, even if it does exist.
I'm sorry, Inspector, you're wrong. You see, I do know.
Pringle, what are you doing here?
I've got someone waiting to see you.
Who?
Villas.
Villas? You mean you've brought him here?
Yeah, that's right.
Why?
He wanted to see his son. I thought I'd better find out if his son wanted to see him.
Where is he now?
The other side of the peak. He doesn't know he's only a stone's throw away from this place.
Good. You know what to do.
Right. Oh, by the way, did you put a tail on me?
Tail?
Yeah, there's a chap following me up the track. I didn't touch him just in case it was something to do with you.
No, he's not. Is he still there?
As far as I know.
Fine, leave him to me.
Right.
And Pringle, you're sure you know what to do about Mr. Villas?
What do you think? Gosh.
Fuad, I want this place cleared by the morning. We're moving out.
Moving? But how can we? You haven't done anything about this.
Elizabeth, you needn't worry. That's been taken care of. And I must say, you do seem to have taken quite an interest in my little sister. Perhaps I'd better warn you, my friend. I'd sooner you didn't.
Where are we going?
That's no concern of yours, Fuad. Just obey instructions.
Maybe I won't go.
Maybe it won't be necessary.
You won't kill me.
No?
No. I am too useful. To you and to the police.
Dead men tell no tales, you know.
They don't have to. All they have to do is to write a letter. And then ask a good friend to post it. At an appropriate time, of course.
Good for you, Fuad. Do you know something? You're really beginning to improve.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But of course it is possible.
Well, I can't believe it. No, I just can't. You mean to tell us that the Harshak tomb was built to hold the remains of a pharaoh who was assassinated?
Well, why not? Don't you see, Mr. Wilder, it all adds up. That fresco in the temple at Luxor. The arrow of the man behind pointing directly at the shoulders of the pharaoh. The scene depicts a royal murder. That's why the tomb was never completed. There wasn't time.
And the remains of the pharaoh were hidden in a secret chamber?
Of course, to prevent his enemies from desecrating them.
Remarkable.
But, even supposing the remains exist, how do we find them?
Let me go there and work it out for myself.
You?
My father firmly believed that if there was another entrance, it would have to be worked out mathematically. We can only do that by going to the tomb itself, and the sooner the better, tonight, in fact.
No, that's out of the question.
Why?
Because, Miss Warwick, we cannot afford to jeopardize your life anymore.
Oh, rubbish.
Dear lady, I would like to know why you have need of such urgency to find this sarcophagus.
Precisely. After all, the damn thing's been lying there a couple of thousand years. It can wait a bit longer.
That's just it. It can't.
Why not?
Because if you want the pharaoh to remain in Egypt, Inspector, we have to find the secret tomb as soon as possible.
You mean there are others after it as well?
I don't know.
Fuad Yassif?
I beg your pardon?
Yassif, the man who have invited you to come to Luxor. Does he also look for the pharaoh's treasure?
No, of course not. He's got nothing to do with it. Why do you ask?
No reason, dear lady.
Well, who's coming out to that tomb with me?
I'm dead against it.
Then we shall go alone, Miss Warwick.
No police, no soldiers. What we find alone.
All alone, dear lady.
Then you agree to tell no one?
No one at all. Not even my dear mother. Oh, Allah preserve her soul.
Ahmed! Ahmed! Oh, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Dear lady, do you not hear? It is time for prayer. I must turn to Mecca.
My husband and Mr. Pringle have gone up into the hills. They should have been back long ago. You've got to go and look for them. You've got to.
No, Mrs. Willis, not possible for Ahmed.
But they could get lost in that desert.
Desert?
Mr. Pringle has made contact with my son. They went to look for him at a villa the other side of Harshak.
In the desert?
Yes.
I do not know such a villa.
But you must. Mr. Pringle says...
In the desert near Harshak. There are only the tribesmen. Not good to go there. They do not like many people. Very dangerous.
Then, Ahmed, we must do something. I knew we couldn't trust Pringle. If he's let any harm come to my husband... Ahmed, you've got to go after them.
No, lady. Ahmed not go to desert.
But you've got to. You're the only one who knows the way. Oh, please, Ahmed. I know something's happened to him. We can't leave Charlie all alone up there to fend for himself. He's not a young man anymore. He wouldn't know what to do in that type of country. It's almost dark.
I will not go to desert, lady.
Very well. I'm sorry to have disturbed your prayers. Oh, by the way, Ahmed, whilst you're at it, you might say one for my husband. Because wherever he is now, he's going to need a few prayers.
Pringle! Pringle! Where are you? Oh, God! What am I going to do? I'm lost. I can't see a thing. Pringle! Don't leave me here! Please! Oh, Pringle! Is that you? Oh, thank God. I'm up here! Pringle, what are you doing? Why don't you come up? All right, if you won't come up here, I'll come down to you. Pringle! Help me! Oh, my leg! My leg! Pringle! Please, help me!
Mosquitoes. They are the curse of my life.
Inspector, what are you doing?
I am going to go into the tomb.
No, not that way. This is where everybody's been going wrong. This is not the real entrance.
Not?
Just stand still and think about it for a moment. Why do you think the ancient tomb robbers were never able to find the treasures of Tutankhamun?
I have heard it was because they found the much larger tomb of Ramesses VI.
Which partially obscured the bigger prize. Precisely. Then why shouldn't the same thing have happened here?
You mean that this tomb is some kind of a hoax?
Why not? You know as well as I do that the construction of a pharaoh's tomb often used to start shortly after his birth. Some of those tombs in the Valley of the Kings took a whole lifetime to complete.
But you say that this pharaoh, whoever he was killed by an assassin?
Yes.
Then his tomb was never completed.
Ah, that's what his enemies were made to believe. Well, I think differently. I think the pharaoh's body is in there right now.
But I still cannot see how.
Look, if the king's family didn't want his remains to be desecrated, surely the last place they'd dare risk putting him would be his own tomb. Now, the tomb has somehow been divided.
So, when the pharaoh's enemies broke in, they desecrated the chamber because there was no treasure and no body.
Yes.
Then, dear lady, what you say must be right. Somewhere in the tomb lies the mummy of the pharaoh.
Yes.
But if the pharaoh's enemies could not find him, how can we?
By mathematics, Inspector. The ancient art of mathematics.
Wait a minute, can't you? Give me a chance. Don't you know what time it is?
Mr. Wilder.
Oh, it's you, Mrs. Villas.
I'm terribly sorry to disturb you. It is Mr. Wilder, isn't it?
Yes, please, come in.
Thank you.
Well, what's the matter? What's happened?
You've got to help me, Mr. Wilder. You've just got to help me. It's my husband, Charlie. He's out there all alone.
What are you talking about, Mrs. Villas? Out where?
In the desert, the Theban hills. I don't know. It may be too late to tell you. I do love him, Mr. Wilder. I really do love Charlie.
Now, please, try to calm yourself, Mrs. Villas. Now, tell me why your husband went out to the desert. And if he's lost, we'll find him. You needn't worry about that.
You don't know. You just don't know. We're not like the rest of them. We didn't come to Egypt as tourists. It took us years to save for this.
Now, look here, Mrs. Villas.
Don't call me that.
I beg your pardon.
Our name's not Villas. It's Barclay. Charles and Margaret Barclay.
Yes. I knew that. But I think you'd better tell me about it yourself. Sit down, Mrs. Barclay, please.
Oh, here you are, Mr. Villas. I've been looking all over for you.
Pringle, you've got to help me. My leg, I think it's broken.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. You're in pain, aren't you? Now, didn't I tell you not to go wandering around on your own? And in the dark, too.
I fell down the slope. Don't just stand there, man. I've got to get a doctor.
Doctor?
Do you want me to die?
To tell you the truth, Mr. Villas, I'm easy.
What? Pringle, what are you saying?
Now, just you lie still, Mr. Villas. You're only making yourself more uncomfortable.
You planned this, didn't you? You left me without water, all alone. You wanted me to die. Why?
You know something, Mr. Villas? There must be millions and millions of stars up in that sky. I've always wished I could have the time and patience to sit back and count them. Reckon that's something you'll be able to do between now and the morning. That is, if they let you. Bye.
Pringle! Bye. Pringle, where are you going? Pringle! Don't leave me! No! Please! Don't leave me!
Mathematics? Dear lady, I still do not know what this has to do with the tomb.
Look up there at the stars, Inspector. A whole universe of mathematical equation. Well, isn't that the way the ancient astronomers used to work? And the architects.
Architects?
Wasn't it the ambition of every Egyptian architect to create the perfect single shape, the triangle? Well, surely you have only to look at the great pyramids at Giza.
Of course, the triangle.
My father believed that the large passage inside this tomb was only one side of a triangle. And if we could just find the supreme point of that triangle...
The king's burial chamber.
Yes. There's no doubt that the architects who were commissioned to design this tomb had one major problem to face, and that was how to mislead an enemy who tried to break in and reach the king's remains.
And so, they have done it mathematically.
Right. If we're at the apex, let's say that the passage inside leading from this main entrance is one side of a triangle. Then what we've got to do is to find the other side, either to the left or to the right.
But there is nothing but miles of desert over there to the right. Sand, only sand.
What about over there, to the left?
Again, nothing. Except, could it be as far as the caves?
Caves? What caves?
The Hashak caves. No one ever goes there. It is the old Coptic burial ground.
How far?
Oh, not far. But I do not think it is the place. The people of the village do not enter because of fear. They talk of evil spirits.
Then that's the place to go. Come on.
But, Miss Warwick, suppose it's true. Suppose there are evil spirits. Be careful how you go, dear lady. It is not easy to see in here.
There's no need to whisper, Inspector. I don't think there's any fear of waking the dead. Could you shine the torch ahead of you, please?
Yes?
Is that a path?
No, I'm afraid we shall find nothing. The catacombs have not been used for years.
Extraordinary how still death can be. Oh, it needs no effort just to lie there, weighed down by a huge piece of stone.
The Copts were very remarkable people. Like the Christians in ancient Rome, they also had to die for their faith.
It's strange there are no wall paintings here either. The Coptic graves I saw in Cairo were much more decorated.
Dear lady, I think we must turn back. We shall find no entrance to the Hashak tomb here.
Oh, but if there is another side to the triangle, I'm positive this is just the sort of place we'd find it. You see... Oh! Inspector!
No, don't move, dear lady. Don't move. Are you all right?
Yes, but look. Did you see where the dog came from? Quick, the torch.
It's a passage. A small passage.
Quick, help me through.
Now, be careful, Miss Warwick. Be careful.
Oh, look, Inspector. This is not Coptic. There have been hieroglyphics on these walls.
Yes.
And they've been scratched out, do you see?
Extraordinary.
This is the other side of the triangle. I know it is.
Then if there is a burial chamber, it must be...
Inspector! Quick, come over here.
What is it?
All these rocks. It looks as though there's been a landslide or something. Oh, please, help me to get up. It can't stop here. There must be something on the other side.
Very well, but I am coming with you.
Give me the torch. Oh. It's so dark up here. Whatever you do, don't slip down onto...
Miss Warwick, be quiet.
What is it?
Our voices, don't you hear? They are different. We are no longer in a passage.
Oh, my... Inspector, look. Look, down there.
Why, yes. It is the king's burial chamber.
And there's the sarcophagus.
Miss Warwick, come back. Be careful.
I can't bear it. We found it. We've actually found it.
Yes, but we are not the first. Someone has been here before us.
And the walls. Everything's exactly the same as in the other chamber. No hieroglyphics or paintings.
I am going to climb up to look into the sarcophagus.
Oh, no, please, Inspector. Let me. Whatever happens after tonight is up to you. But at least let me do this. For my father.
Then, take my hand. Now, careful. All right?
Give me the torch.
Can you see anything?
The top has been removed. Oh, this is extraordinary. How on earth could they... Inspector!
What's the matter? What is it?
There is a body in here. But it's not the body of a pharaoh.
At the point of a triangle was the 6th episode of Kill the Pharaoh, a thriller serial in 8 parts by Victor Pemberton. Elizabeth Warwick was played by Sheila Grant, and production for the BBC was by John Tydeman.